right, everybody, climb down off this machine. I'll show you guys today's little project. I'll drop this blade. Got blade out of my way there. Okay, so this is today's project. I am surrounded, I'm in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but cornfields, pretty much. You'd think I was in Iowa or Nebraska somewhere right now. Not South Carolina. But we do got a lot of corn here. A lot of corn, cotton, soybeans, and tobacco. So anyway, this is today's project. The client wants this corner mulched out right here, about to where that first pine is right there. Just wants this corner cleaned out. This is just one part of 3 parts on this property here that he wants cleaned up. There's another one. If you go all the way down this road, there's a tree stand down there. We're gonna go past that, cut a left, and go all the way back. There's a back corner back there, and he wants an area. There's another stand back there that some area that he wants cleaned up back there as well, and then some stuff up by the house. So we're gonna just mulch all this down, and the Mini I think is gonna work perfect for this because it's really tall, and there's a ditch right here that we're gonna have to work around as well, I think. So I'm gonna have to probably cut this, go in from here, cut all this, and then come around maybe and cut that back that way from this side, because that there looks like there's a ditch or something that runs right through there, because there's another one right here. So I think this is sort of like an area they left for drainage, maybe for these fields possibly, because this little run goes all the way back. And he might actually want to see from that tree stand too through here, so give him a little more view down this road when he's hunting. So that's what we're gonna do. I got the Kubota here with the Prinoth, and I sharpened the teeth this morning, got them as good as I could, and I think they should work. I mean, I got a nice edge on them. They're still a little, that one's not too bad. It's just fun to, yeah, like that one. The tops are still a little rounded off there, but this edge right here is razor sharp. You can see from the underside, that's all cleaned up, and then that edge is a razor. So it should work. I've had them like that before and they still cut fine. So let's crank this bad boy up and get to it and see what we can get chopped down. All right, guys, that's pretty good progress for only about 30 minutes in there. That's some pretty thick, gnarly stuff in there. About 15 minutes in there, well, actually about 10 minutes of starting to mulch, I started seeing some bees, and I was like, or some hornets. I don't know what they were. And I was like, oh goodness. And then about 20 minutes or so in, there was a hive, and I don't know if I got this on the GoPro or not, but it was like right there. I already kind of mulched it down, but it was like right there about where like all those vines and stuff had kind of grown up into a big canopy right there around that big tree. And there was a big old one of those like paper hornets nests in there, and man, I hit that thing with the mulcher, and I think 200 or 300 of them come out of there. But I was gonna try to I was time-lapsing everything while I was running the GoPro on the machine right here, and I was gonna get out and move the tripod around as I time-lapsed everything, and I was like, nope, that ain't happening. So I backed a good ways down here really quick. I've got something in the mulcher right here. Let's see what it is. It's a stick or something right there. We'll get that out of there really quick. Sometimes things get caught right here up against this side here. They go in here and they don't come out, so I'm gonna yank that out really quick, and we'll get back to mulching. And typically when you destroy those hornets nests, after you destroy them, they don't have no home anymore, and they'll typically skedaddle and go find a new place to build a home. So hopefully that's what they've done. Hopefully I don't run any more of them. Let's get this thing out of here and get back to work. Oh, there's one right there. Y'all tell me what that is. I don't know. It's not a bumblebee. It's some kind of wasp or a hornet. Right there on the hydraulic line. Somebody said something about bald-faced hornets, but I don't know what a bald-faced hornet is. But that thing is mean looking. I don't think they're quite got out of here just yet. Oh, look at oh dude, he just had the stinger sticking out of the back of that thing. Ooh, that was like a hypodermic needle. I'll try to zoom this in when I put this, nope, there he goes. When I edit this, I'll try to zoom that in right there, crop and zoom it so you guys can get a good look at whatever that was, that little hornet. Ugh, evil little devils. Good thing I'm in this cab. There's another one of them little devils. You can see it looks like he's trying to sting the machine. Oh, I hate bugs, especially anything that stings or bites. Oh, hopefully they'll leave, but I'm still seeing quite a few around since I tracked back over here. everybody. Turn the machine down a little bit. That is all mulched out and mulched up and looks really good. Wasn't too bad in there. That ditch had some stuff in it, and but he told me to stop right there at that first pine tree, so that's where I stopped. And once you got past all that, if you were to go back in those woods right there, that's all open and really pretty in there, other than kind of where it runs down that ditch, it's grown up. But once you get across that, through that row of woods, it's really open and pretty. I bet the deer lay in there pretty good. But all that is done. And I was gonna try to time lapse some more of this, but the doggone hornets would not go away. Now, they weren't like a whole swarm of them, but you know, every time I would get out to be like, all right, I'm gonna set the tripod up, that one of them would fly by or land on the machine. There was like half a dozen of them right here on the machine at one point. I think I see one flying around down there right now. But they would not go away. So yeah, but all that cleaned up really good. It all mulched out really good. Nothing too big in there other than about a 10-inch gum tree I took down right like over there. It's a pretty decent sized gum, but outside of that, it was just a lot of crud and crap. A couple of down trees that took me a minute. There was a tree that had fallen right over there on that side that I had to mulch up pretty good. The trunks on it, the cores were 8-10 inches or so. It took me a little while to mulch all that down with that little head, but it got it done and it all looks good. So I think the owner will be around today, and we'll see what he thinks. If he wants me to take that a little further back, I can. But all that looks good. So it's not as wet back here as I thought it was gonna be. We got a ton of rain yesterday back at the beach. I'm about an hour and a half from the office, further inland here, so it's only about 45 minutes from my parents' farm, where the machine was, where I was keeping the Kubota over there. The skid steer is back at the office, but it's a pretty good little raise out here. But we got a ton of rain back at the beach yesterday, but it doesn't look like they got it too much out here, so it's still fairly dry. I was worried about getting back here and how muddy and wet it was going to be, but all right, we're gonna go down this road and I'll show you what we gotta do back there. All right, so here's the second part of this project. You can't see it, but right over there in that sweet gum tree, right there is a deer stand. And he wants to be able to see down this road right here. So what he wants me to do is cut these gum trees back, like this initial row of gums that starts about like right there with that one. Cut those back, and then also just kind of shave this side back here, some of the limbs and stuff, and just kind of clean it up, and then get rid of all of this, mow all of this down. So here's what I'm gonna do. If I don't get this done today with this machine, I'll be back tomorrow and I'll just finish everything with this machine as far as clearing all of this out too. But if I can get this done today and be done with this machine today, I think I'm gonna come back tomorrow with the skid steer and get rid of all of that. And then he's got two little paths through some little pine trees that are, most of them are probably like, I mean, they're small. They're probably like as tall as that little gum right there, or like right over there. They're pretty short and small. Up there near the house, he wants me to cut 2 lanes, maybe 50 yards long, into a larger stand of pines. So we'll see. If not, there's no point in me driving a 3-hour round trip, you know, to after I get done with this machine, if I don't get this done today, to go get the skid steer for maybe 3 hours worth of work, you know. So but if I can get this done and get this machine out of here today, then it will be worth it, because this has got to go back to the shop, because it's supposed to have replaced the oil separator element. I don't know what that is, but it's got to be done, and it wasn't done at the, I just had this serviced at about 1,440 hours, and that wasn't done. So I've got to take this back to have that done. So I'm gonna be dropping it off probably over at the Flint place to have them do that for me. So that's that. Let's get to going. I'll be danged. That actually turns out pretty good right there. The owner came by about a 45 minutes ago, and man, he was super happy with this. It looks really good. On this side, I didn't really cut any trees other than maybe just some little saplings that were kind of sticking up right here. I mostly just kind of shaved all the branches that were sticking off some of these trees off about as high up as I could reach them. And on this side did the same thing, but I actually had to take, you know, some of the trees down to widen this up a little bit. I think he's going to put a food plot in here. That's his goal, which would work really well. You know, after that corn out there gets mowed down and the deer get done eating it, if you could get a winter food plot in here, this would be a nice little area for the deer to walk out into, and they'd feel real safe, you know, because they got all that woods back in there. You know, this isn't a really big hole here, so they probably wouldn't feel too exposed. They'd just walk out, feed, you know, and then if something spooked them, they could just hop right back into the woods there. But all this looks really good. Didn't run into any more hornets or yellow jackets or anything else that could sting me, which was nice. So got a good little time lapse along this side right here. I didn't really time lapse this side. It was nothing but just reaching up and just clearing off some branches. Tomorrow when I come back with the skid steer, I'll run through here one time and just kind of back dress this down with the cutter on the skid steer and just kind of grind some of this stuff up and smooth it down. It was really hard for me to sweep the mulcher across this ground. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but there's a rut through here, right through there, kind of. There's a rut and there's like a hole, kind of indentation, then it builds up in the middle, and there's another one. So the mulcher was having kind of a hard time really sweeping the ground and mulching that stuff down and picking it up. You can see right there where it scrape the ground, so right there too. So I'll bring the skid steer through here tomorrow and back drag all this and finish that up. And I'm kind of bringing the skid steer out here for you guys a little bit too, because I know you guys like to watch that thing run as well. And this thing just hit 1501 hours. It really needs to go in for that, whatever that oil separator is. So if it says it needs it, I'm gonna take it in for that. So I've pretty much done everything, mostly what this thing here came to do. The owner came by, he kind of added something to this. He wants to take down kind of some of these gums along this line here. So I might just kind of walk the machine back through there along this line really quick and just cut down any of the big ones. But I don't really see anything there that the skid steer shouldn't be able to handle. If I just took the edge of it and just went right down the side there and just hooked those trees with the grab bar on the front of the MTL and just cut them and laid them down and just mulched them up. Everything else in there, all this is going in here except for that pine and that pine. Everything else is going. Skid steer should make quick work of all that. That shouldn't be more than 30 minutes. So with this, that would probably take me an hour or two with this thing to go through there and cut all that the stuff down there through the side. But for this thing worked perfectly because I was able to just reach right up and trim those branches right off the trees, cut what I wanted to, and then come along this side and really just be selective and just take what I wanted and take the branches and take all the other little stuff that was sticking out and leave everything else. You know, where the skid steer with the MTL was more of a hammer, this thing is more of a scalpel, and it works great in that regard. Now it can work as a hammer, and I've used it like that, you know, ground sweeping large areas like that, but it's really where it makes its money is doing stuff, these little right-of-ways and stuff like this, where you can reach up, you can trim stuff, selectively take out stuff, thin it out, and leave everything else and make a nice little hole in here. And that's money. You really, with that rotary cutter on there, you know, I've done it, but it's not the best thing to try to lift that thing way up, and it really doesn't do good trying to selectively cut those branches with it either. It's just so big and heavy, and it doesn't work very well. So that's pretty much it. I got all this done and a lot quicker than what I thought. I figured at least a whole day out here, and really only took me about 6 hours, so I'm really happy with that. And I'm gonna trim a couple of these little gums right here for the client on this corner, and that'll be pretty much it. So luckily it didn't rain today, and I had a nice cloudy day. It's my favorite days to be out on cloudy days like this. If it was like 50 degrees outside and nice thick cloud cover but no rain, man, that's like, I can't wait for fall. That's like my favorite days to be outside. So all right, I am out of here. I got a really cool picture of this up on Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's the same handle as my YouTube channel, I Dig It For. So I'll be back here tomorrow with the skid steer if all goes well, and we'll get some more footage of that. So stay tuned, and I will catch you guys later. I am out. Bye.